and the theme is Beach Town. So I gave that to Joshua, and he came up with this.
I like it.
Working against you. Now, Joshua, explain your process. You gave yourself awards here.
This is for the Jack Reacher movie.
Hey, welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wise Works podcast.
Are you girls geeks?
All right, if you're going to jump in.
I tried.
You gave it a go.
The best part of watching the third Pirates movie is solely Davy Jones. That's it. Just Davy Jones. I'll only want Davy Jones.
No, gosh. I feel my mustache quivering.
Dude, I can't take it.
Welcome back, all you girls, guys, geeks, goofs. I genuinely messed up. I was trying to do it serious.
Well, just start over.
I was like, I thought, are you gonna do a thing where you like mess up on purpose? I was like,
no, this girls, gals, geeks,
guys.
and goofs got girls,
Guys,
girls, geeks, and goofballs.
Guys.
Welcome back to the Wise Works
enough.
podcast.
Close. It's freaking.
We are here today, and we are talking about.
Go to the first one. All
Go to
right.
the first line.
Okay.
Josh took control. He's
All right.
running it now.
Let's let it happen.
We're talking about Hawkeye. Why? Because they've been releasing a lot about Hawkeye right now.
Now you're just being vindictive.
No.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
He's pulling some crap on us when we start
You think
rolling.
it's gonna be what's his name? It's
Jeremy
not
Renner?
Hawkeye.
Jeremy
It's not
Renner.
Hawkeye. It's
No,
It's his alter ego.
It's gonna be Hawkeye.
but ultimately he's gonna be his alter ego.
Hawkeye.
What? No. What's the name? Strider? Snyder?
Ronan.
Yeah.
Ronan is the character that he portrayed in the Avengers.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
his
gonna
alter
be.
ego.
I don't think he's gonna be Ronan in here.
You don't even a piece of it. You don't think
Okay.
this is what I think.
I think a piece of it is gonna carry
it's gonna
over.
be post Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna get a lot of tying in with Endgame and Ronin era, what happened during that time, and it's gonna have like a crossover type thing.
But the title of Ronin is something that multiple MCU characters in the comics have portrayed. Like he's been Ronin, Captain America's been Ronin.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
I thought it was his bad alter ego.
No, it's something that he portrayed in Endgame, and I think you're right. I think they're going to tie a lot into that.
So wait. So what? He had an actual alter ego?
He wasn't.
It wasn't alter ego. It's just him
wasn't
going rogue.
He wasn't Hawkeye. When we
Mhm.
saw him in Endgame, he
Yes.
wasn't Hawkeye.
Yes.
When we got to him, he was the Ronin. Was his character?
because he lost his family and he kind of went rogue.
Oh, so he
and became,
changed.
an assassin.
Okay. So you think that this is not going to be backstory like we saw? I guess I haven't seen it yet, but like Black Widow is. Isn't Black Widow some backstory?
I think this might be backstory. I don't know.
Well, the artwork
because
looks like
they've already released a lot of photos with, and this is what I was trying to talk about earlier. A Haley
What's her face?
Steinfeld.
Stein.
Yes.
Yeah, her.
That singer, the actor. She's in True Grit. She's in Begin Again.
Yes.
She's playing her daughter, and she's a lot older than what we see in the girl who plays his daughter in Endgame.
Okay, so it's going to be after Endgame.
It's gonna, at least that's what people are predicting.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that she's supposed to be his daughter.
Interesting artwork choice.
I don't like the title.
Okay, well, it's just Hawkeye, but the artwork is rough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, there's usually purpose to
You know what this makes me think of?
the MCU universe graphics. What?
Italian Job.
The Italian Job? Does it look like
Italian
the Italian Job?
No.
Yes.
But it does have like an 80s mafia style to it.
I could literally make this
Easy.
in my little art thing with one font, and you just highlight the outside of the words with white, and
Sometimes
the yellow, the simple font, the yellow.
A big thing with Italian Job is they have, I I know we're getting off of Hawkeye, but they have these Mini Coopers they drive around. They have like, I can't remember what it was, like 5 Mini Coopers because they're trying to get away from whatever job they're doing. And it's kind of like that robbers? Because they're like, the cars are making the logo type thing.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But I have a feeling there's usually a purpose to the design. So we saw with Loki, there's a purpose to that design.
Okay.
We saw with Black Widow, I mean, it's more like harsh action, has the little red hourglass symbol. So there's usually a purpose to why they make certain choices. I'm guessing this is not, they wouldn't release art for it like this if there's not already concept as to why it's going to look like this.
It's definitely probably supposed to be like a bullseye.
What? No way.
You don't think so?
For an archer? No way.
Yeah.
A little arrowhead?
No, you're right.
But lowercase is interesting.
It is interesting. I'm not.
Well,
and the A is definitely with the it is an I.
Yes.
Yeah. So a little bit. I want to talk a little bit. So as far as what we've seen, you've seen all of WandaVision.
Yeah. We've all seen all of WandaVision.
Yes.
Have you've seen a little bit of Loki?
2 episodes.
Okay.
You've
seen Loki.
Yes, I haven't seen
Falcon and Winter
Soldier.
Okay.
I have not seen that.
And I've seen all 3.
Mm-hmm.
From what we know, from what we've seen, I don't know that we can accurately. I don't know that we can accurately predict what this show is going to be.
Okay, well, let's just all right. If we are going to say they're advertising his daughter, explain that period of time real quick, and let's make some assumptions. So quickly give like a synopsis of what's after Endgame, maybe around the age of where his daughter would be.
Mm.
So what's happening? Because you guys are much more familiar with the storyline of Hawkeye and everybody from the movies.
So they've released, and I don't know if I should show these because they can't see
Well,
them
just show it to us.
Photos like these have been released.
Oh yeah, those look cool.
So it's definitely, in
show
my
your
opinion,
camera a little bit if they can see it. Just hold it up. Yeah, just zoom in there. Just use your fingers and pinch in. There you go. Now hold it up.
A lot of things like this. I don't know if they can
Show your camera. I think it's closer. Yeah.
I'm assuming that's supposed to be like his daughter, kind of in the future past Endgame, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's past Endgame. Do we have any information of what happens past Endgame?
To Hawkeye, no. We just know he has his family back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's because of time travel?
Because of the events of Endgame.
Because his family disappeared.
All of them disappeared.
See, these are details. There's so many characters. I can't keep them straight.
At the beginning of Endgame, all of his family disappeared. They all came back when Hulk snapped his fingers. And so all we know is he got his family back. I don't know that he will be back. I mean, think about it logically. The kind of person he became after his family was gone
was Ronan.
Yeah, it was rough, and he might be actually distanced from his family in this upcoming show.
Maybe.
And his daughter is gonna be like seeking him out, or
so okay, there might be kind of like that would make sense because then there might be a redemption story in there because the show's called Hawkeye.
Yeah,
so he's coming back to his original hero name, Hawkeye, and so maybe there's a bit of a redemption story in there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing maybe his daughter has obviously a heavy part to play in that redemption story. That would make sense.
What I hope it's not going to be, and I feel like it could be, maybe not. I'm happy with what Marvel's doing with Disney Plus and all this. I hope they don't give us some Arrow-esque show. I don't want
think
that
so either.
I don't want that, but
I don't think they're going to do it.
Okay, so
there's going to be. I think the show is going to lean a little bit more character heavy than that, especially on him, because not only did he lose his family and got them back, he lost Natasha. Didn't get her back. He didn't. She died. Just plain and simple. She's gone.
She's gone.
that sort of reinforces his depression. I don't think he's
got
gonna
a sick haircut and tattoos though. That's what he gained.
I don't think he's gonna be all together when we see him next. He's probably not even gonna be with his family.
He's gonna be a little bit in the weeds.
He's gonna be,
What he probably did was move to Alaska.
Because that's the place where
reservation.
People that are depressed and want to be
movie.
alone move to Alaska. That's what happened.
He wasn't in Alaska in that movie.
Where was he?
They were in like the northern Midwest.
Do you even know what I'm referencing?
No.
You never
Wind
seen Wind
River?
Maybe. Actually,
It's
thinking
got
about
Elizabeth Olsen in it.
Yeah. See,
She's a detective.
it's got the Scarlet Witch on
seen
it.
the trailer.
And
Saw the
she's
trailer.
pretending to be this like FBI detective character, but
It's a good movie.
Okay, I'll watch it.
really it's the Scarlet Witch
I
in
think you would like
disguise.
it.
All right. Before we get to the main topic, I want to quickly discuss MCU universe.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say this. Let me give my thoughts.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
you guys
sorry.
have a lot of thoughts. I have never, for a long time, been a fan of Marvel universe stuff. But then they started doing the Disney Plus shows. Shows, I feel like, is such better avenue, especially since these shows look like movies.
Mm-hmm.
Such a better avenue to tell stories of this magnitude. Maybe you need movies to tell Iron Man and Captain America's stories, and I'm not a huge fan of those. And
Yeah.
Hulk and Spider-Man. But when it comes to these side characters like Loki, oh my gosh. I loved it so much.
It's because long form storytelling is essentially a movie, but they give us so much more content as far as what the characters are thinking, what they're feeling, and how they're processing all of this.
And they're pulling out characters that they would be like, oh, we can't take time in a movie to tell this weird comic character.
Yeah.
But then they have the witch from WandaVision.
Yeah.
Was she the Scarlet Witch? Something
No,
like that.
she
No,
was
not
a
Scarlet
different-
Witch. That's the red lady.
Mhm.
There was another witch.
I don't remember what her name was.
The Scarlet Witch is
How many
Wanda.
Marvel movies
Yeah.
are there right now?
There's like 12 or something.
There's a lot. But I will
More than
say
12, my guy.
I
20?
like that they're repurposing these, endless characters that were created in the MCU.
Loki
Yeah.
is
I
such
count
a
21.
21. Okay.
That could be wrong.
Holy cow.
That could be. There could be
So
more.
Loki, I think everybody has latched on to him in the movies. Everybody's latched on to his evil, good, character, and I think the Loki show is a perfect show for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause you get to see kind of what goes on in his mind. And I'm actually, as much as people dislike Hawkeye,
People dislike him? I didn't know.
people are like, he's useless. He's a guy with arrows.
He uses them like bullets.
Yeah.
We've had this debate before.
We haven't had a debate.
You've had a heated
An
discussion.
argument.
We've had a heated discussion. Josh,
What was the argument? I can't remember.
Josh thinks that if that Hawkeye would still be superior to someone like Daredevil. If you put a bow in Daredevil's hands, that Daredevil still wouldn't be as good as Hawkeye. Daredevil's a metahuman. All right? With super senses and can already throw things and make them bounce off walls and hit dudes in the head and not kill them.
This is my argument.
Say it.
Daredevil by himself, good. Hawkeye with a bow, I'm going against Daredevil. Daredevil would probably win. Daredevil with a bow, Hawkeye with a bow, Hawkeye's gonna win. Hawkeye, the bow is his thing. He thinks that Daredevil is as good with a bow because he can hear.
I
see,
don't
and
think
everything.
he's as good with a bow. He probably doesn't have the muscle memory, right? He doesn't. But if you gave him a month to practice, I think he'd be making shots that Hawkeye can't.
I disagree.
Okay, here's the ultimate question. Daredevil, Hawkeye, Green Arrow, Legolas, Katniss Everdeen.
All right, so Katniss is dead first.
Wait, she
What?
has some serious skill. You saw her in the second movie. She's shooting those animatronic practice machines. She's like a ninja with a bow.
Okay.
Could she take down?
Katniss is dead first.
First, no, she's
Yes.
last.
She's
She's a woman. She's last. I'm kidding.
who's another good archer? I guess Robin Hood.
Robin.
we don't.
Which
there's
version
no
of Robin
good
Hood?
version of Robin Hood that we have confirmed.
No,
like, there's
yeah,
been too
the
many.
cartoon version.
No, it's like saying
Fox.
it's like saying Peter Pan, where you're like, which one?
I was
The cartoon
obviously
one.
directly referencing Kevin Costner's.
Nobody knew that.
I disagree. I disagree.
I feel like there's another good archer.
Well, let's just lay out these. So,
Okay.
because Green Arrow, you guys completely overlooked.
yeah, no. Green Arrow, I think, is absolutely on the same skill level as Hawkeye, at the very least.
Then why wasn't he a main
No, I
superhero?
disagree with that statement.
Wait, is he in the MCU?
No, he's
DC.
DC. No, he's the DC's Hawkeye. He is their
I
Hawkeye.
think Hawkeye's still better
Hawkeye.
than Arrow.
I don't think there's much distinction between the two. They're both incredibly skilled archers.
Okay, well then let's say this. Simplify.
I think
Go ahead.
Legolas,
The Lassie boy.
the Legolassie. I think he's probably most likely coming out on top.
He takes down elephants with a swing of his
An
hand.
elephant.
Yeah,
An elephant.
Elephant.
No, an
Oliphant.
oliphant.
I think Legolas is coming out on top with this one.
I have to agree, but I also could be biased.
You know, he's an elf.
He's from Middle Earth.
These other two guys aren't elves.
No.
They're extremely skilled humans. But Legolas is an elf. He's
He's also a lot older than
he can,
everybody.
Yeah, he can literally run on top of grass.
That's a book detail.
Well, that's elves.
Mm.
That's elves. Elves don't. They're so light.
They're like, they're like feathers.
They're like feathers.
They have all this body mass where they can do warfare, but then when you go to hit them, they just go like they feel hollow.
I mean, he's jumping on shields, sliding down stairs.
Dude, that's why they don't have to eat. They eat lambus bread. And they're like, I'm
Lambus?
good for 4
My
months.
guy, I think it's pronounced lambus bread.
Lambus bread. It's probably actually lembas. Yeah. I know there's another archer character, but I can't remember who it is.
Daryl from The Walking Dead.
No,
Yes.
Daryl doesn't count.
Why not?
Daryl's the
He's
worst.
George's version of an archer.
Daryl is such
Georgia.
the worst.
What are you talking about? He survived so long.
He survived with a crossbow.
Yeah. It's George's version of an
A
archer.
with one arrow
Mhm.
against armies of undead.
It's
No,
his
he's
weapon
got
of choice.
multiple arrows
He's
at
so
one point.
good. It's what he wanted to use.
You can only shoot one.
Oh,
and,
okay,
And then
yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
to strap that bad boy under your toe. Use both hands. If you're not using
All
an
right,
arrow
think about
pull,
it though.
and cock that thing back.
Think about it though. As a young boy, he has a fascination with crossbow.
No.
Fascination.
No.
And then he starts hunting. He's like, what should I get into? Archery or crossbowery? And then he's like, I've always liked the crossbow. And then out of nowhere, the apocalypse happens.
No, I
well, he's
think
like,
it's-
well, I've gotten really good at using a crossbow. I'll just keep using that.
No,
and it's
I don't
better
think
than a gun
he
because it doesn't
established his
attract.
crossbow thing
It
until
doesn't-
later on. He didn't have it at the very beginning, did he?
They introduced him with it.
It's just not. It's not a weapon that's.
Well, it's better than a gun because if you shoot a gun, you're gonna have a whole army coming at you.
Yeah, but you know, after that one crossbow bolt, you have to reload that thing.
Mm-hmm. But usually, if you're doing it well, you're in a situation that doesn't require you to keep reloading because you're staying away from the herds,
Yeah.
not in the middle of the herds, which is where a gun will get you.
Can I make one last point as far as the archery? I do hope to see, and I don't know if we're gonna get to see it, a little bit more other that different styles of archery, because we're all very familiar with English and American style archery, right?
Explain yourself.
Which is arrow on this side of your hand, pulling back a little bit of an angle, maybe straight up, longbow style, short Native American bow style. We don't get very many examples of the Japanese or the Mongolian style.
The longbow.
The because their arrow is on the outside. right? And they don't pull the bow back like this. They have specific they have a almost like their own homemade. When they pull an arrow back, they pull it back with their thumb and then put their finger over their thumb. Especially like the Mongolians when they're just the Kazakhstanis when they're riding on the steppe hunting from horseback, fighting from horseback, and they shoot on the outside of the bow.
It's definitely probably gonna be just like
I know, but
compound bow.
You're
Like
probably traditional,
especially here in America.
Is a compound bow is a recurve in the family of compound?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Sure.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. It's been a long time since I
releases pressure when you pull it back.
Yeah, the compound bow is using the wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So it can release pressure.
When you can make compound bows like
back.
this big.
Yes.
With the strength of regular size bows.
I prefer recurve.
The recurves are very nice.
They're a lot stronger, harder to pull back.
Yeah.
They're more powerful. And I've threaded one before. Well, not threaded it. I just hooked it up.
Yeah.
You got to bend it to get it.
I personally like the English longbow.
Okay.
I would definitely either recurve or compound. Probably compound.
I'm just going to change my answer. Okay. I'm doing cross.
I would definitely
compound. But max,
it's a lot easier.
Max, as far as poundage, you're probably getting 60, 70 pounds out of both those bows. You can get up to like 120 pounds out of it.
I saw this guy on Instagram who's, for no reason, he said unnecessary for hunting or any kind of sport, but he's just doing 90-pound compound for the heck of it, just because he wants to.
Yeah.
Because he's done archery for so long.
So the English longbow had such high poundage, it was super incredibly hard to pull back, and it's a warfare bow.
Mm-hmm.
It's made,
but it's a lot longer, and
it's very long.
It's hard to carry because it's so
puncture
long.
Chainmail.
When you pull back, you have to hold that strength for as long as you can. I think the compound bow is superior because
it lets you relax.
You pull back, you relax, and you can get decent poundage on it.
But they didn't have a compound bow back then.
But we're in the 20th century. Who cares?
But these guys were pulling back, 100+ bows with just their arms.
Yeah, but that's got to get tiring. You can only do so much when.
Okay. Go ahead, finish your thought.
You can only do so much when you're holding a bow back that's that much poundage for a long time. You can only do so much. You eventually get tired regardless how strong you are.
But these guys were warriors. They were shooting these
You don't think Hawkeye's a warrior?
I'm sure. But these guys were puncturing armor with
bows. A compound bow cannot puncture
They didn't
armor.
have compound bows.
But we do now.
Okay.
So then let's leave this up for debate. For Sober October, which one are we using?
Compound.
Oh, I was thinking just like traditional recurve or hunting bows.
All right, so we're gonna have to go buy ourselves bows or something.
Yeah, you can get a hunting bow on like eBay for like $100.
Okay, so should we do hunting or should we do recurve? Should we go more traditional? Look like cool dudes?
It doesn't matter as long as we get like similar poundage on our bows.
Well, the bow that you use is what you're going to get comfortable with. If you have a recurve and then you pick up a compound, it's going to kind of feel like a steep learning curve to get the feel for it again. So what are we sticking to for Sober October?
Being sober.
Okay, so with a compound bow.
I'm going compound, definitely.
Compound bow does not take any skill to use.
Then I say recurve. Because it's a competition.
It doesn't take skill to use.
None, not at all.
I disagree with that statement.
How much do you know about compound bows?
A good bit. I know it's easier to shoot because the sights are easier than...
Because they're sights.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't take skill.
But the thing is, we're doing a competition to sharpen a skill.
It just makes it more accurate.
We've all shot
I
compound
say everybody
and
can choose their own style.
What I'm saying, no.
Okay, but you can put like 90 pounds on a compound bow.
I thought this was one more thing you said.
I know. but now we're moving out of that and getting into a little bit more Sober October.
Because it's coming up.
You can put 90 pounds on a compound bow, and because you have a trigger, you have a release, you can pull that thing back, you can look down the sights and hit a bullseye. right?
Which is not what we're trying to do.
With traditional bows, you have to compensate. You have to learn where to aim, and it's more instinctual.
I would say I'm really interested in doing recurve. That's what I want to do. If you guys want to do recurve, I think we should all use the same bow though.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're competing, we're not going to put up a recurve compared to
you'll win if you're using a compound with sights, with a peep sight with sights on the end.
I say we should talk about this and figure it out outside.
Well, people are going to be involved with Sober October. It's a very audience involved thing.
It's July, my guy. We got a long time.
Well, we have to decide. We got to start saving money to buy our bows and arrows. I mean, I got to get
the arrows are actually the expensive part.
I'm going to buy probably like 20 arrows.
Yeah.
And we'll come up with the details of how the competition works later, but I think it's important we nail down recurve compound. Because we have to use the same one. If one person is using compound, we all have to use it.
I don't want to use compound.
And you really want to use compound. And they won't accept it if I make the decision. So I guess let's just linger on it for a while longer, and we'll talk about it next week.
We can discuss this, I guess, outside of the podcast.
No, I think we should do it.
You think we should discuss this kind of stuff on the podcast? Enough.
Let's go to the poster stuff.
I think not compound.
Let's go to the poster.
Because that it doesn't take skill to learn how to do.
Let's go to the topic.
So, you guys have been talking a lot so far.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell what we have here. This was Wyatt's idea remixed between me and Joshua. So we refined it.
Well, we refined it because originally it was like you have to design 2 posters, send them to the other 2 guys. They design 2 posters, and they each send out 2.
And we'd be going through like 15 posters.
It would have been, oh my gosh. And then it was, I design a poster and send it to Josh, which he remixes. He designs a poster and sends it to Joe, which he remixes.
And then we're like, well, let's just really simplify this.
Yeah.
We just come up, so what we did is we landed on this idea. You come up with a title for a movie. You come up with a genre.
Yeah.
And then you come up with the theme. Yeah. So, for example,
let's talk about the first one first.
Well, I'm just setting it up so people can get a good idea. Yes, but let me set it up first. So, like, if they're for like a shark movie, you say like half bitten, or just half bitten as the title, and then it would be horror thriller.
Yeah,
and then the theme would be Shark Week or something like that.
Yeah.
So we took those ideas and we each designed. Joshua gave one to Wyatt. Wyatt gave one to me, and I gave one to Joshua.
I took a sneak peek. We've peeked at them. They're all different.
They're all very different.
Very different. I feel like if anybody's going to be closer, it's going to be you guys.
What do you mean
closer?
Mine
looks way different than yours.
Yeah.
But it's still, we're all different.
We are all different. We're all different human beings.
Yes, we are special in our own way.
All right, so
some people specialer.
We're starting out with Joshua's.
We're just making eye contact. Some people special.
Okay, let me find the ones that I gave you, Joshua.
I got it.
Oh, you got it? Oh, I'll introduce it. I think I have it right here. Okay, so what I gave you, title, Working Against You. The genre is horror comedy. And the theme is Beach Town. So, I gave that to Joshua, and he came up with this.
I like it.
Working Against You. Now, Joshua, explain your process. You gave yourself awards here.
This is for the Jack Reacher movie.
Okay, so I just pulled something random out.
Yeah, props to Joshua. He went all out with the poster information.
So good.
Okay, so first thing I did, I got on Google, as you do, type in movie poster. I was getting inspiration from other movie posters, and I saw a lot of just like picture-esque. I was gonna just pull some random like actors and just throw them as like, you know, the classic. But I'm like, not gonna be as good. I'm not gonna put an actor on here. I'm just gonna go with the classic black and white. You know, that's pretty scary.
Did you notice that there's a meteor in it?
No, I added that.
You added the meteor?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Horror comedy.
Horror comedy. Oh, okay.
So
what was your idea for the movie?
So,
if there was a story behind this.
Yes, I threw the island vibe up the picture here without the meteor. I added all this. I gave myself awards because this is the best.
Josh was proud of it.
Best director, which is definitely me because I'm directing it. And I threw up a title. And then I'm like, okay.
But where's the award for funny as hell?
No, I'm like, then now I have to play with how does comedy kind of throw in here? Or like, because if it's just the beach, that's kind of plain. I was thinking hurricane, because it's something working against you. It's got to be like some kind of disaster film is what essentially it is. It's a disaster film, but from a comedy perspective, and a horror perspective, I guess.
Okay.
So
Tom Cruise is in it.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is the star.
Okay, I've never known Tom Cruise to be like very funny, so interesting choice.
Interesting choice. No, I like the way it looks.
I was like, okay, we got a hurricane. I was gonna put a volcano in the background as like an island, and you'll see the volcano. But I'm like, wouldn't go great. I'll just grab a meteor, threw that up there, and so it's like a disaster comedy horror. Is what I would say it is.
Yeah.
And now I will say this: I think a good casting for this film would be Tom Cruise's lead, Zach Galifianakis. That's the second.
That would be great.
I feel like that would really pull out the comedy of this type of film.
That would be funny, or we could throw in like some Martin Short.
Did you come up with any?
Did
you come up with any like what's the process of disaster that happens? Like, did you go any deeper as to like create characters or anything like that?
No, but in my head I was kind of being like, okay, it's definitely going to be in the life of type thing. So it starts off this guy who lives on an island. It's following his life, so it starts out with his main character, and it kind of goes from horror to disaster, and then there's a lot of comedy thrown in there. And
some guy, Zach Galifianakis, washes up on the beach after this giant meteor hits, and they don't know if it's just the two of them left on the earth after
you just see him like stand up. He's like, Zach and his dry humor.
He's just like naked.
Who are you? Haven't you heard?
The world is gone. It's just us now.
All right, very good, Joshua. Any other thoughts you want to share about your horror comedy here? What were your thought processes when designing this? Font choices, palm trees.
So I played with the font for the title, the theme, and it has to just be kind of classic. I mean, you can tell there's stock footage here.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't notice
I took a few out.
I didn't notice till you said something.
Oh yeah, there it is, stuck right there.
I took a few out at the top, but you can kind of see it right beside the thing. But I was playing around with the title a little bit, but ultimately you just got to be kind of a bold font, not like a very...
Just simplify it.
And it was more of a design choice because there was a lot that was kind of bleeding into the background. You can kind of tell here. You can't read that very well because it's bleeding into the background, which is a design flaw in my...
Okay, I thought it was set up to look like it was behind the trees. I didn't notice that it was in front.
It is in front. It's not supposed to be like that. It's a design flaw that I did in about an hour.
Though that would be cool if it was behind the trees, almost sitting on the ocean, and make it look really big.
Yeah. Okay. I like that you chose red font because it is horror on top of black and white.
Now you showed me another picture you were going to use, which was like the walkway down to a beach.
Yeah. Kind of like the boardwalk.
Yeah, I still think it would have been cool if like one of those boards was red, and it had black words in it that said "working against you." I don't know.
That would have been cool.
It was. either way, I think you would have had a nice, clean-looking poster.
Yes. So I think overall, rate him, I guess.
At what, like out of 10?
Yeah.
We have to rate each other?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out an idea. We can bypass that idea.
Probably. I want to give you like a 6.5.
6.5.
I'm gonna give it just because number one, it is not the Jack Reacher movie.
What did you add title credits on your?
No, but I wouldn't. It wouldn't have been Jack Reacher.
What would it be?
I probably would have designed it myself.
See, if he was going to do it,
I definitely did not have time to type out all these names.
I would have done it myself, and it would have all been Wyatt.
directed by Edward.
Edward,
nothing.
just Edward. And I only took points away because you pointed out the stock things. If I hadn't noticed that, I probably would have been a 7.
All right, I'm gonna give you a 7.3. Similar reasons, except you were starting to get rid of the stocks and didn't finish the job.
I didn't. To be honest, I couldn't see those until you blew it up on this screen because I didn't put it on.
Well,
you
knew
were
about the
probably
sky,
working on the phone.
and
I know I did on my computer.
you were working on your computer.
But I couldn't see that.
That's all right.
Until he blew it up here.
Okay,
It's
so
got different lighting.
7.3. I really like your choice of red on black and white.
Yep. It
gives more of that thriller. I feel like this is more of a thriller film than a horror film, but it's all right. Still accomplishes the goal.
I was looking at different kinds of red. I mean, it had to be black and white with red.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking at what style of red. I'm terrible with colors. It's
Crimson,
more
maroon,
rose.
rose.
I was looking at more maroon, more what kind of blood looking.
Yeah,
This is pretty bloody.
But
I think this works.
This pops
It
better.
works the best.
Yeah, this pops better.
I don't give you more points because it says best horror. And I would see this poster and be like, is that really the best horror?
I mean, I would almost consider it more of a disaster movie. But
I designed
disaster
these, though.
horror
I didn't just pull
is
If
them.
it hits somebody and their legs are falling off and we show that, then it's kind of a horror.
it is a horror.
I designed these though. I didn't.
They
just
look good.
pull them as
It matches
thing.
the sort of the theme of the
7.4 then
I
because
wanted
you
to put a
designed it
third
yourself.
one here, but if
Okay,
you
well,
pull that over, it would have
designing it,
covered
that's-
up and it didn't look great. So
All right. Well, overall, what 6 point what?
I gave it a 6.5.
7.4.
mhm.
That
Those
extra
good
extra
ratings.
point because of the self-design.
Yeah.
All right, now we're moving to Wyatt. Joshua, tell Wyatt what you gave him.
Okay, I didn't write it down, but I the title was
Prehistoric Love.
Prehistoric Love. Actually, I think I said Jurassic.
No, you said prehistoric.
Love, and then the what are the 3 categories?
Your genre was romance.
Was Jurassic romance.
Yeah.
Like
So the
post.
so the theme was like Jurassic era.
Jurassic
kinda.
era, but it was a love story.
Yeah. So
And then I had, I guess that was just all I gave you. I didn't have like a beach.
no, you didn't give any sort of setting, which is fine.
I didn't do that because I wanted you to play with it and say it could go. I've seen how you took it, but it could go dinosaur. It could go caveman-esque. It could go however you want it.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be a certain thing.
It went the way I did it.
Yeah.
All right, ready for this, everybody? This is Wyatt's poster. So you went with the classic drawing, like you're comfortable with.
So I'm comfortable. I like drawing. I really enjoy putting my own spin on things. And I've designed regular posters before, but I really wanted to give this one my own touch. So, as you know, you guys probably are familiar with like all the Nora Roberts book covers and everything, where it's always a muscular guy and his shirt is unbuttoned, right?
Yeah.
And I went to do that, but just put it on like a freaking T-Rex with no emotion on its face.
If I'm being honest, I'm thinking like, what is he doing behind those roses? Because
Yeah.
the other dinosaur's like, And he looks like he's,
they have no
having a great time with himself.
They literally have no emotion on their faces.
No,
nothing.
I mean, he kind of has an emotion.
He's probably taking a big poop.
Well, he's, something.
And so this is sort of your typical, romance sort of poster where the guy is always just muscular, showing his abs, his white shirt. It's always a white shirt is unbuttoned.
Yeah,
it's tiny.
And you see like
wait, a white shirt? No, always. It would be like a Hawaiian shirt.
No, it's always a white shirt.
Always, because they have to be a little wet or sweaty.
Yeah,
so
and
you can see through
it's
it.
Kind of
but it's unbuttoned.
Always.
Well, you want to see the shoulders that are coming.
And
it's like I'm immodest, but I started.
If
modest.
there's a woman in the photo, she's always either like touching him or she's like, got her hand to her mouth. And
no, she's like throwing her head back and just.
Yes, yeah. And so I drew up a little outdoor theme. I really went hard on the title, prehistoric love.
Love with all them hearts.
There's not much more I can say, just drawing it, trying to make it very, add the pink around the sides, which I saw border. A lot of them do.
It's pretty good.
All right, I got to say this. This is like an adult comedy vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Joshua didn't say comedy.
No. He said prehistoric romance. This is prehistoric.
Yeah, and I let him go whichever way he wanted.
I know. I'm just saying you've added comedy because you couldn't help it.
I'm inclined to comedy.
But I'm going to say, when it comes to rating, it's going to hurt you.
Look, I don't need your permission to create art.
See, I would have thought this, like, I would have taken it as because the dinosaur's wearing a shirt. If you did the same thing, but like it was a caveman and he was wearing like a fur skin with the same concept, then you would have removed the comedy and just all of like the weird.
I've thought about that. In fact, I at one point when I was making this, I thought about getting rid of the dinosaur, the T-Rex, leaving the Velociraptor, and putting like a caveman there, right?
Which, by the way, you joined up a Velociraptor and a T-Rex.
I didn't say that. They're in a relationship. I just implied that she thinks he's hot.
They're getting their freak on,
right? He's got those abs.
She's like,
and we can't see it, but yeah, he's hanging.
He's totally Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah,
right.
You can see his butt a little.
Yeah.
He's got that dump
I was
truck.
gonna put him farther back. I was gonna bring him farther forward, but just this position felt right.
Which the detail is good. Like I'm looking at the Velociraptor's inner mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You could put a lot of effort into the detail. Oh, the roses that must have taken. Wait, did you just copy and paste a bunch of roses?
So yeah, I actually the roses I had to. I didn't design them, but I did have to do a lot of editing on them, and then I had to copy and paste them and place them, and then well,
actually, the ground looks more detailed than the roses.
Yeah, and then the
tiny little grass,
the hearts up on the top.
Yeah,
I had to go in and edit the pen itself so that it would do what I wanted it to do.
Yeah. Well, you spent a lot of time on the environment.
I spent a lot of time just trying to edit it. Like the T-Rex has some texture. The Velociraptor has a little bit of texture.
I see the texture.
Go in and edit the pens.
It's probably hard to see that from there, but there is some texture in there. Should we post these on Instagram?
All right. I didn't want them to look just flat. I wanted them to have a little bit of like there's something to them. But yeah, that's my photo. Prehistoric love. You never know what's gonna happen.
Great.
I don't even know what your title anything because I was not involved with that.
But before we go to mine, I want to ask Wyatt, what is the story? What's the story
of this?
Yes.
Okay. He's a T-Rex.
Yeah.
And he hasn't.
Hold on. What's the T-Rex? Is just a generic term for
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
What? There's no like male female type thing.
Yeah, there's male female.
Well, okay, then what would you call male or female T-Rex? I always think T-Rex is male, masculine. Maybe.
You think T-Rexes are out there breeding with all the other dinosaurs?
The male form of the Tyrannosaurus Rex is Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the female. They probably call them like a bull and a cow, the same way that you would label like.
I was thinking that
livestock.
exact thing.
He's probably.
I was about to say bull earlier.
So this T-Rex named Bull.
This is not like a LGTB.
No,
type thing.
he's been like. He's been alone for a while since his mate died, and he's just been like working out.
So
he's been wandering the earth, and he gets to this nice little area,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just trying to, fit in a little bit. He's from out of town, but he's really hot, and all the other dinosaurs are like, "Oh my gosh, who's this new guy? Why is he
I can see the story.
He's kind of hot. He's kind of dangerous."
So it's like the guy comes into town. He goes to the diner, and it's the waitress. It's like the classic diner. He goes with the waitress that works at the diner type thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of the Twilight.
Well, she definitely works at a bookstore.
She's like, did you see that new guy in town?
Yeah.
He doesn't look like the rest of us.
And he's
a lot
kind of
bigger.
quiet.
Yeah,
he's like
quiet.
he's the
He's
quiet
hot.
guy.
And
when he gets out in the
and
sun,
he's
his
just
skin glows. Very nice.
There's no dialogue in this movie. They're just all like.
It's like, okay, but let's acknowledge
But
Rick
with
and Morty did that
subtitles.
very thing,
Yeah, I know. With like
snakes.
the snakes.
which was hard to believe they did that.
Yeah.
That feels like that wouldn't pass the writer room, but it got
Look,
through.
it's but all the dialogue is very much like, oh my gosh, who is he? It's like, oh, that's the new. He's coming. He's the new like I don't know like
out of town
guy.
I heard that in
He
his
just bought that
previous town, he was, expelled from school.
Yeah, like he bought that expensive cave up in the mountains, overlooking the lake.
He's already breeded 3 times.
Children are going missing. He's eating them.
Taking all the women, eating all the children.
Uh-huh.
And meanwhile, they're just...
It's funny.
I don't know.
I like it. Rate it, Joshua. What do you give it?
I'm gonna say it's a 6.2. No, it's 6.5. It's good. It's got a funny thing, but you didn't make it a poster. It's more of a
Book cover. I actually,
Yeah.
and I agree with you here. I take points off myself. I designed it based off of book covers rather than movie posters.
Then I'll give you a 5 for that.
All right.
Did you even Google posters?
I did Google movie
Okay.
posters, and there were a lot that followed this sort of pattern. But I was looking for that shirt, those abs specifically. So
Well, I'm gonna give it a straight 7 because there was a lot of effort into this.
thank you.
A lot. And it's a funny concept. But
it's not a romantic
it's
concept.
not a romantic concept.
Yeah.
And it is more funny than romantic. So, points off for that.
Yep.
But still very good poster.
Well,
very good design.
Originally, when I
Very
thought
funny.
of the movie poster idea, I was thinking about serious posters, but Josh gave me a crazy idea.
Yeah, well, I was trying to go out of the box, my guy.
He says prehistoric love. I'm like, how am I supposed to design that?
I was going out of the box.
Gave me a wacky idea. I made a wacky poster.
Nobody wants that vampire love.
No.
'Cause we've got that already.
and we got something beautiful out of it.
We did. Now we have prehistoric love.
Yeah.
in the books.
It's in the books.
And we already have the cover for it.
Already got it.
Can we just name this episode Prehistoric Love?
Now, see, I would have actually gone with, if it said Prehistoric Heat with this cover.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
You would have taken some extra time to make sweat droplets on these dinosaurs.
I legitimately thought about giving the Velociraptor sweat droplets.
That's funny.
No, I didn't specify if that's a male or female Velociraptor. So you guys
right.
can take that however you want.
That's right.
Yeah.
We don't
I was gonna
discriminate
give her hair. I was gonna give her like,
and you were like, no.
And then I was like, no, you know
Too
what?
silly.
It is just a Velociraptor. You don't even define it.
Too silly.
Too silly.
Instead, I'm just gonna give the T-Rex abs in a shirt.
Abs in a shirt.
I'm gonna dial back on the silliness.
Legitimately thought about designing like a human body, like for his upper half, but his head was like a T-Rex. So
I like it. I like it.
it's it's wacky. I know.
It is. All right, guys. You gave me one.
Yes.
I don't
What did
know
you
what
give
it
me?
is.
Now explain the mishap.
Okay, so there was a mishap, and it's my fault.
No, it's
Okay,
my fault.
no.
It's
Joe wants
definitely
to say,
not my fault.
Joe wants to say it's his fault.
It's my fault.
It is my fault because what happened was I didn't just come up with a theme, a title, and everything.
Genre.
I came up with a story in my head.
What?
Gave that story a name. That's how I come up with things. There's more. It was more than just a title, something random. There was a story behind it that I was absent-mindedly making up to fit with the title. And so I came up with the title, I came up with the theme and the genre, and I sent it to Joe.
All right.
So it was originally, the title was called Star-Crossed Lovers. It was a romantic comedy, and
We all went with comedy.
it took
No,
place
this is not
in
comedy.
Well,
this is not
you guys
comedy.
went with
This
comedies.
is steamy romance Hallmark. And it took place on like a sci-fi resort, right?
Well, you said space themed.
I said
sci-fi.
space themed sci-fi. I did not say resort. I didn't say any of that stuff that was going on in my head. So Joe saw that I put the title as Star-Crossed, C-O-S-T, Lovers, and misread it, or just
All the connection I made,
Because you
I read
texted
it.
it to him.
I read it really fast, and I said, "Oh, star-crossed lovers, space theme, star, got it."
yeah.
That was it. So I thought it
So-
said cross.
So the issue was there was an idea in my head that it was a romantic comedy between two people that go to like an expensive space resort theme in
But
the
here's
future.
here's the
That's the issue.
This is why it's my fault, is because if I would have just taken a second to read it closer, then I would have seen cost, and I would have worked it into my own story.
I don't think it
I
would
could have made it work. I didn't need to have your
It wouldn't have
story
made
to make it work.
sense, though.
I misread the title. So my title says Star-Crossed Lovers,
Yeah, it
not Star-Cost Lovers. But it is space themed.
I like the cost better, so whatever this is, it's going to be terrible. Get
All
it?
right, well, here it is.
I still like it.
Okay.
It looks like Dance Dance.
That's true. Okay. So the story in general is Earth is uninhabitable from heat.
Yeah.
So the humans have to go into space, and they decide, let's just build our own world. Well, there's this guy who's a part of the, Star Warriors fleet to protect from alien invaders who wish to annihilate the human race while they're vulnerable. So he's the main character, and he falls for this nerdy girl who's a scientist who's working on creating oxygen for the new Earth when it comes about. As you can see, they have a space station, and they're building an Earth behind them. It's in the process of being built. Well, the lead character is encouraged by friends and family to just, look, you're awesome. You're a warrior. People love you the most. You're a hero. You're protecting us. Just don't settle down. Just have as many women as you want. But his true desire is to just be committed and settle down with this nerdy girl named Sammy. And his name's
Sam.
Julian. Sammy.
So there is a very serious situation here.
Yes.
They're designing a new Earth.
Yes.
With threats of invasion and stuff like that, and a romantic comedy is happening in the midst of it. I like this idea.
So the romantic comedy is this guy with his hands on his head. So this is Julian.
Yeah.
This is Sammy.
Uh-huh.
This is another girl who's also a warrior, but she's a little bit of a ditz. She loves Julian.
Oh, love triangle.
No. Now, she really wants to be with Julian, but Julian's like, I'm interested in Sammy.
Not
and everyone's
Julian.
like, what's wrong with this girl, Tabitha? She's great.
Tabitha?
I just came up with that name. What's wrong with Tabitha? She's hot. She's beautiful. She's a warrior like
She's
you.
She relates to you a lot.
And his friend,
Similarities.
Kenny, really likes Tabitha.
Okay.
Really likes. So it's a fourth thing. So Tabitha wants to be with Julian. Julian wants to be with Sammy. Sammy just wants to create oxygen because she's a nerd. And Kenny.
Oh, so she's kind of oblivious to his.
Kind of. So the process is Kenny starts dating Sammy, goes on a date. That's how Julian and Sammy start getting to know each other.
This whole thing.
Before he started dating Sammy, Kenny's always been interested in Tabitha.
She's not really, and she's not even focusing on the fact that they're dating. She's not even focusing on the fact that he likes her, even though she kind of like shyly likes him a little bit. But she's trying to focus on making oxygen.
Yes, because she's a scientist. They have something to prove. The Earth's almost built, as you can see.
Yeah.
It's almost
pretty
habitable.
close.
You know?
Yeah, another few hundred years and they'll have it done.
So the process is Tabitha likes Julian.
Mm-hmm.
Julian likes Sammy. Kenny liked Tabitha, but is going on dates with Sammy because he thinks he can't get her because he's not a warrior. He's just a regular old funny dude. He's probably played by Bradley Cooper, but not the serious roles, the more silly roles.
No,
I'm thinking failure to launch.
No,
I'm thinking failure to launch.
He's definitely played by like a younger guy.
Okay.
Like a younger comedy guy.
I see him as
Kevin Hart.
What's the guy on Whiplash?
No, he's not funny.
He could be.
He could be funny.
Have you seen? He was like.
Yeah, I've seen him in funny stuff, but I don't think he's that funny.
No, he's Jonah Hill.
The skinny Jonah Hill.
Skinny Jonah, new Jonah Hill.
Yeah. So what happens in the end is Sammy and Julian get together. They do get together at the end. Tabitha starts to get an interest in Kenny, and he's like, I always wanted to be with Tabitha. So they kind of flip-flop. And Julian ultimately
at the end, there's some sort of big invasion or fight, and he ends up saving her, and she like finally notices this guy.
What happens is
I like that trope.
He's a warrior, and the
Kenny? Kenny's not a warrior.
No, not Kenny. I was thinking. Well, you were talking about Kenny.
Yeah,
I was thinking at the end how they, the big moment of warfare is their space station gets invaded. And
by aliens,
and they have to wear suits because there's holes in the ship. Well, they're getting Julian's out fighting, and then he gets wounded by an alien, and in this room, and he's like he's gonna die, and Sammy runs in, closes the door, and flips on the oxygen.
Gives him the oxygen.
Flips on the oxygen in the room, and it's choked out, the alien.
Yeah,
and so she saves Julian, and with oxygen. The end of the film is they get together and build a cabin on the new Earth in the wilderness where just Julian and Sammy can be together, and Kenny and
I was saying that
Tabitha.
Kenny, she doesn't notice him because he's in no way like her type, right? She likes sort of warrior guys, but at the end she's like falling off something, and he saves her and pulls her up, right?
Who, Tabitha?
Yeah, Kenny.
Okay, yeah.
And he kicks like an alien in the face. She finally notices this guy because he's never had to do any of this.
Yes.
She finally noticed that, okay, this guy is kind of cool.
Yeah. So what I did is I created 2 main love stories and then a side love story that's super silly.
He's the guy from Pitch Perfect.
Adam Devine.
The guy, who plays what was his name? A Bumper.
Yeah.
Wait, who's Bumper on Pitch Perfect? He's the guy that dresses up.
The guy on Workaholics.
Adam Devine.
Yeah.
Adam Devine.
He's definitely that guy.
Yeah, I think it works. But yeah, so they have like a serious love story and then a silly love story.
Yeah.
And they're happening at the same time.
I like it.
And it's in the world of them trying to get on this new Earth so that they can be safe and have a planet.
I like it.
And they're building it. And I didn't know how crossed works. I guess crossed because there's so many characters.
Yeah.
Star-crossed relationship.
Yeah, love triangles. Yeah, no, it works.
And they're in stars. And,
in space.
You know.
No, it works.
So that's my poster. I want to hear you guys' ratings.
After that story.
You're like, I want to see this crap.
There's a lot of backstory.
This is stuff John Mark and I do on the regular.
Yeah. I gave it the classic black border with like the lights beaming outside of the border to give kind of like a slight 3D effect. It's hard to see it, I know, from that screen, but there is a black border. And I was thinking Jaws kind of. You know, Jaws is framed up by a black border. I was just doing some classic things. As far as the dance floor, I don't know. I was literally looking for like a metal floor that looks like it's looking out into space from a ship. But I couldn't find anything that worked, so I was like, well, let's just do something that's kind of like 80s because that's popular in sci-fi. And I was like, all right, let's just put a dance floor out there that they look like they're standing on. And I made them, negatives.
I'm going to give this a straight 7. Actually, no, 6.9. I don't want to make it a perfect number.
Okay.
The reason why I'm giving it the number I'm giving it, there's a lot of backstory. That's good.
A lot of motivated story.
You don't have the titles like I did.
That's right. I don't have the titles.
Because it's not the poster.
I didn't go all out like you did. It's one of those clean posters. It's the one without the titles.
The type of film I see this is like, is this like an animated movie to you or live action?
No, it's live action.
Because how I see this poster is like a Sinbad.
Really?
that kind of animation. The Sinbad, the Sea of Monsters.
Like freaking, like Treasure Planet or something like that?
No,
well, these are very obviously like normal human looking people, just in a negative thing.
Just eye-catching.
And you so from the title, I wouldn't say that it's like, I wouldn't imagine that it's a romance comedy or anything like that until I saw Kenny. Anytime you got a guy doing this,
it's funny.
It's gonna be a good time.
It's definitely a rom-com.
Yeah.
If there's love and a guy doing this,
and
it's a rom-com.
It's a rom.
There's stakes in this movie.
There are stakes. That's what I'm saying. I was trying to craft
what kind of stakes?
I could not come up with
ribeye.
I could not come up
you know my jokes too much.
Sirloin.
I could not come up with a good story, or a good poster idea. What's like, what are the elements?
It matches just
and then
fine.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write out a story. I wrote 3 paragraphs, all the details I wanted, and then I knew elements.
I like it.
Put it in there, and then I was like, every rom-com has a wacky side friend, with a wacky girl.
Yeah.
I always use failure to launch. I think that might be my favorite rom-com because I think Zooey Deschanel's in it. Bradley Cooper's in it. Matthew McConaughey. I love
all of the.
I love that rom-com, and so I always was referencing. I was like, well, how did they format that one? And I feel like it worked.
Yeah,
and so that's what I went with.
Did you give your rating?
I want to give it a 7.6.
Yes. So 6 point what?
9.
8, you said?
9.
9 and 7.6. Thank
I
you,
almost
guys.
want to give it an 8 because of that story.
Well, thank you.
No, I'm changing to an 8 because of the story.
Well, thank you.
Anytime you give me a lot of rom-com story,
you just feel like dancing. But no, I spent time on this, and I think it was successful.
It's very good.
So I was curious. I wanted to pitch you guys an idea.
Nope.
I mean, I spent 2 afternoons drawing mine.
Well, this idea is going to take a little bit more.
Yeah.
What I was thinking is we should open up season 9. We make trailers for our posters.
Oh my gosh.
So you'd have to be like cartoons. So you'd have to divide.
I'd have to actually
start drawing some cartoons.
Animate a cartoon.
I just have to have a lot of sound effects and maybe a couple actors or something, or maybe some voices. You just design the trailer yourself, and it's not a teaser because the teasers are too easy. It's a trailer.
Ooh, that's a lot of
just like
content.
30 seconds to 1 minute trailer. I know that's teaser. I know that's teaser time, but actually like try to convey some story in the piece, and that is a trailer. So, what do you guys think?
Sounds like a lot of work.
But don't you want to do it kind of?
We'll see. We'll talk about it.
I don't know anything about animating.
Well, I can help you with that. Really, the biggest thing is I just want us to craft a trailer, and then if you need help with the details of it, then I'll help you. But I want us to come up with a trailer and then pitch those ideas. Do you think you're invested in your story enough to be able to do that?
I'm invested in the story.
I mean, you have a high, tall order. You got to get Zach and Tom in it. Imagine it's like you can deep fake some stuff.
Or I can just
that would be
sick.
What is the app you could pay people to cameo?
That's true.
That'd be funny if I really cameo.
If you got Zach Galifianakis to
They're
cameo,
probably not even on
like
cameo.
An ad for the movie.
Or
But
he's
you
just
could do,
like,
look
he's like, help me, I'm stuck on an island, but there's nobody watching.
But no, you have a golden opportunity to do some cool stuff. You can take audio clips from their movies. You could see if you could deep fake, because there are websites that do it really easily. Just got to find some clips of movement of people and then deep fake their faces. And like just do real quick clips, real quick. And then audio clips. You already have a good format. I have to start from scratch. You have to do some animation. What do you think?
I'm not going to commit to anything, but
we'll see.
But I will look into seeing what I can do.
I feel like once you start the process, you're going to get excited and want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see.
You guys seem like the least interested.
Well, it's
this.
committing to something like this, right? When we still have to come up with concepts for other things. We want to film other stuff.
We'll see. How do we feel about this? This was a good episode.
This was fun. Look, anytime I think we get the chance to be creative with something, that's always a good time.
Yeah.
Before we close this off, how you guys thinking my facial hair is coming?
It's coming in. You're getting it along the jaw, which I can't.
Give an update on my facial hair.
Right.
You know that was a big thing last season.
I can't get it to come.
It's definitely not just a mustache anymore.
Yeah,
that's good.
So tell us what you're using.
No promotion or branding.
You're using product then?
I'm using product. Yeah, but I'm still also
what is it? I Beard Club?
No, that's definitely not it.
What is it? We're gonna shout it out so that we could get their promotions.
No,
you're using it.
No.
Sponsor us.
I'm definitely what I'm doing is shaving the mustache and just not touching this, except for just trimming it once in a while.
Okay.
So
very good.
That's my update.
I like it. It's coming in.
Coming in,
definitely.
I'm excited when you have an actual full beard. I'm looking forward to that day.
Why? Because
then we'll all have good facial hair.
I won't be a boy anymore. I'll be a man.
Be a man.
I'm a real boy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we have a second podcast that is still under the Wiseworks podcast name, but it's called the Midnight Special.
Midnight.
Wyatt. Joshua always he does ads and then he takes forever to get through them. Tell them where they can find it and when.
Guys, you can find the Midnight Special on all of the different podcasting things. iHeartRadio, Google Podcast. Wait, we're on Google Podcasts?
We are actually.
Oh my gosh. That one, Spotify. This one, Stitcher. What is this one?
That's Apple Podcast. And what do we want people to do if they listen on Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, you don't do Apple products, so you don't know.
I have an Apple product now.
So you can start listening to Apple
I can start listening to Apple Podcasts.
You can go on.
You can too. You guys can listen to all of this stuff.
I recommend Spotify.
Ratings.
On Apple
reviews.
Podcasts, you can leave 5-star ratings and reviews. So that's what we want you to do. If you listen to us, we highly recommend you. If you have an Apple product, even if you don't listen on an Apple podcast, go into the app, find us, and leave a review just to let people know on that platform that people like this show.
Yeah.
And Apple will thank you for it as well as us.
I found out that my tablet is really loud.
Yeah.
Like I could turn that bad boy all the way up and then do other stuff. Be doing other stuff while I'm listening to a podcast.
Exactly. It's really good.
I wouldn't do it on my phone because my phone isn't loud enough.
Yeah. Well, my phone is.
If I didn't want to wear headphones.
You don't have to do the nose headphone method anymore. Stick the headphones up your nose.
Just hold your mouth open walking around the house.
Well, Midnight Special comes out on Friday evenings at 10 p.m. Look for it every Friday at that time. This one comes out on Monday morning, 7 a.m. Midnight Specials audio only, so don't look for that on YouTube.
Yep.
But we love you the same way that Wyatt loves his ripped white shirts.
They look good.
They look real good.
They do
Joshua?
look good. Good
Last
night.
word? Good night isn't a Midnight Special.
Oh,
Good night.
well, have a good day.
Have a good one. Good night.
Good night.